Miss Henrik, and welcome to our first video demo of recipe number 1, which is sparkling lemonade. So since it's our very first video demo, I'm going to go over a lot of different things, including sanitation and a little knife safety, proper attire, and then we'll get started on the lesson. So I have my hair back, as you can see. I'm not really wearing long sleeves because we're just making lemonade today, but I have an apron on just in case something splashes. I don't get my clothes dirty. And then I have closed-toed shoes on. You're just going to have to trust me on that one, but I don't want to drop anything on my feet, so my toes are covered, and that is much safer. All right, to start, we want to sanitize our work area. So I'm going to move some things out of the way. I've got a sponge and any kind of, counter cleaner will do. You just want to get a little bit onto a sponge or a cloth and just wipe down the area that you're going to be working on so that there's no visible dirt. And there's no hidden dirt like bacteria. So it is clean and sanitary. So once that dries, you're going to start collecting your mise en place. Mise en place is the culinary term meaning everything in its place, and it's what you need before you start a recipe. So first thing is the recipe. You can handwrite it out or print it out or just have it on your Chromebook looking at it. So I'll put that to the side. All the tools that we're going to need a cutting board. So there's different kinds of cutting boards out there. There's plastic, there's like thick plastic. There's wood. Some plastic ones come with like a rubber grip on the side. But if you don't have a rubber grip, the safest way to use a cutting board is to take a towel, a damp towel. It could be paper or it could be cloth. And it just needs to get a little bit wet. Just a little bit wet. Just so that it creates a suction between the counter and your cutting board. And the reason you do this is so that it doesn't slip around. If you didn't have this cloth here, your cutting board can move around easily. With the cloth, it's a little more difficult, and that will just make sure that you're safer when you're cutting things. Okay? You're going to need a knife to cut the lemons. Parent supervision would be preferred if you've never used a knife before. This is called a chef's knife. See the shape of this knife? This is the most common knife. You can use this if it's nice and sharp. Other knives, this is a paring knife. We're not going to use this one today. It's not for the right job. This is for like little detailed work. And then another knife that's very common this is called a serrated knife, and you can see it has little grooves or little teeth. And this is really good for cutting bread or tomatoes. You don't have to use this either. You could use this on the lemons, but I'm going to use the chef's knife because this is the actual proper knife that we should be using. Okay. Other tools, you're going to need a spoon. You're going to need a glass for your lemonade. You're going to need something to squeeze the lemons with. So this is called a lemon squeezer. If you don't have this, you can squeeze the lemons with your hands and pour the juice through some kind of sieve like this, so that the seeds don't get into your glass. If you don't have this, you just squeeze the lemons, and then you're going to have to pick out the seeds, which is not going to be as nice, but it'll work. Also, ingredients. This recipe is for 1 serving, so 1 lemon per person. If you're going to make lemonade for your whole family, you're going to want to do 1 lemon per person. If you don't have lemons, you could use limes or oranges or Meyer lemons or any kind of citrus. Is measuring spoons. You're going to want the largest measuring spoon, the tablespoon. Usually these are paired together, but these are separated. And you're going to use this for your sugar, your regular granulated white sugar, which is in this container for me. All right, also don't forget you want to wash your hands before you start cooking as well. So it's about 15 seconds, warm water, soap, and then dry your hands with the paper towel. All right, also if you picked a lemon from a tree, you might want to wipe it off or rinse it off. And if you bought it in a grocery store, take off that sticker, which I did. So the knife. Proper way to hold the knife. So this right here is called the handle. This is the blade. And right in between the blade and the handle, this is called the bolster. So you're going to want to do something called the pinch grip. So you basically pinch right at the base of the blade on the bolster with your, dominant hand. Mine is my right hand. And this will give you the most power and the most accuracy. With your other hand, you will hold the food with the claw grip. The claw is basically just like it sounds. You curl your fingertips in so that when you're cutting, you're not going to cut the fingertips off. So hold the lemon with the claw, go about in the middle, and just press down. And that's all you really need to do. So cut those lemons or limes in half. Okay, so take your glass. If you're making a large batch, you could use a pitcher. I'm just making this for myself. So I take my lemon, I put it face the cut side down. If I did cut side up and I squeezed this down, the juice would just squirt into my face. So the cut side down, and you just squeeze. Until you can't squeeze anymore. No more juice is coming out. So if you don't have this, see, look at the catches all the seeds, so that doesn't go into your juice. I'm going to attempt to show you another way to do this. So if you have some kind of like sieve, you can lay that down and just manually squeeze the lemon. Sometimes if you roll the lemon around first before you cut it, it will release the juices and it's easier. This works just fine as well. See all those seeds? I don't want that in my juice. Okay, that works too. Okay, so now you're going to take 2 tablespoons of sugar. Okay, this is the tablespoon. It says T, and then the abbreviations, 1 TBLS, that's the abbreviation for tablespoon. So you take a leveled scoop. Best way to level anything really is you fill it all the way up and then you can, with the back of a knife, scoop off the excess. So that's exactly 1 tablespoon. Put that in, and I need 1 more. Okay. Stir that with your spoon until the sugar is dissolved. Now you're going to want to add 2 ounces of just regular water. This is because it's a lot of sugar for how much juice I got out of those lemons. The water will help dissolve it a little bit more. So 2 ounces of water is 1/4 cup. Or you use a liquid measuring cup, which looks like this. See there? There's 2 ounces, also equal to 1/4 cup. When you're doing liquids, you want to use liquid measuring cups because it's more accurate and it's much easier to pour out. So stir that up. Then add 4 ounces of club soda or sparkling water. This part is optional. If you don't have sparkling water, you could use just regular water, or if you want to use like a clear soda, like Sprite or 7-Up, just to make a really fancy Sprite 7-Up, you could use that. This is the sparkling part of the sparkling lemonade. And then add ice, as much ice as you want. Just makes it extra refreshing. And then give that a little light stir because you don't want to lose that carbonation. And then there you go. If you've got like a little straw or some kind of like umbrella, you know, you could fancy it up a little bit more. But there's your first recipe. I hope you learned a lot from this video demo. Thanks for watching and good luck. I almost forgot to mention, now that you have all of these dishes that have been touched by food, you're going to want to take all this and wash it with hot soap and water, or rinse it and put it into the dishwasher. Also, you're going to do the same thing to your countertops. You're going to take the sponge and wipe all your mess up. Let it dry, and then make your lab write-up. Okay. All right. Have a good weekend.